It's Holly Hedinga in the studio today with Matt Mullen.
Hello.
Welcome to this week's episode of The Real. Matt, what are we going to be diving into today?
Today we're diving into condos.
It's a good topic because around here there's actually more condos than you think in the Wausau area.
There really are. Yeah, there's become quite an area for condos around here.
And it's a really good opportunity for some buyers, so we're going to kind of unpack what are the pros, what are the cons, what should we be aware of when someone's buying a condo. So let's just jump right in, Matt. If you're working with a buyer that's considering a single family home or a condo, how do you kind of help them decide or kind of understand the differences in a condo, buying one of those?
I'd say the big thing with a condo is, how much work do you really want to do? Condos are very beneficial to a lot of people that, quite frankly are sick of, mowing that acre lawn. They don't want to put on any more roofs, and basically they just kind of have their own space where they want to maintain, and a little less of a headache as a total maintenance, I feel like, as a whole.
Yeah, no, I think you're spot on there. And I think for some of those buyers, the HOA fees that are often included, and in this area aren't usually too high. It could be a couple $100s a month.
Right.
For them, that cost is worth it in terms of the savings. They don't have to do the snow removal. They don't have to do the lawn work. It's kind of a little bit easier pace of life, if you will.
Right, but it could be a catch-22 though. You could take, so that $200 for the monthlies. It's like, well, maybe mowing the lawn. You kind of liked mowing the lawn, or what if you didn't really mind, having to do these slight repairs outside? It's one thing to keep in mind with a condo is you might not have the full freedom as buying a home per se.
Yeah, and that's a great point. So a lot of these condos in their bylaws or executive summary kind of outline what you can and can't do. Some of the things that we've recently seen, gardens, or, if you wanted to have any sort of like sports court. Matt, you ran into that not that long ago.
I just had one. They wanted to see her son loved playing basketball, so they wanted to see if they could have a basketball hoop on wheels in the common areas outside. And in a case here, it was they could not, the specific unit. So these are good little things to really look into in the bylaws. Very important.
Yeah. So that kind of brings us to our next point is really just understanding the executive summary and the bylaws before you jump in to purchasing a condo, because like you had mentioned, some of your proposed use for the exterior. Another big one that comes up all the time is pets. I'm sure you could ramble off a couple of more, but
big one. Just recently with the pets, it was this particular unit. You could have a pet up to a dog up to 25 pounds, or you could have 2 cats. But they're very, very strict per se on excessive barking. Anything that would affect your fellow condominiums.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, your little condo neighbors.
Yeah, condo neighbors, as you would say. That was a big thing that they're very strict on. So this is good things that we look into this prior to jumping right in and signing anywhere. So. And
in my experience, they are pretty strict in enforcing it. Usually, a number of the condo association board members live in the community. So for buyers that think, I can have a 50-pound dog, no one's going to know, it's really not the case. And as agents, we don't recommend going against what they have in writing. If it's something that seems like maybe we could get a workaround, we usually recommend reaching out to the condo association board or president before writing the offer and saying, hey, would this be permissible? It's maybe a little bit of a gray area before and not after.
Absolutely. In the case of this basketball hoop, and in that case, this is something I'd much rather just make a phone call for you and, get down to brass tacks before I have you in there, and then you're having the biggest disaster of your life because your dog is 40 pounds. So.
Yeah, most people don't want to give up their dog during a move. If anything, their, pets are coming with them.
Yeah, they're coming with them.
Okay, so transitioning a little bit to investors that are maybe thinking about buying condos for rentals. Matt, what have you kind of ran into with that?
I found a lot in the bylaws. There can be a lot of restrictions. There's a lot against long-term rentals, even short-term rentals. I found with a lot of condos, they don't want them to turn into rental units per se traditionally over time. So they do have a lot of restrictions in place to prevent these things.
Yeah, and I think again we're speaking to some of the associations we know in the area. It can vary obviously around the state, around the country, but in our area and in general, it's just good to dive into those bylaws and understand them on the front end, like we've been kind of pushing through. You don't want to get yourself into a contract and then try to backpedal out. You want to understand this first before.
Absolutely, and if your agent would be very good to talk you through these things. It's a lot of little paperwork, but it's very important to hit the big print here. So we want to make sure that you're getting into the right place and make sure that a condo is most beneficial for you versus maybe a single family home.
Yeah, no, exactly. And along those lines, when it comes to actually writing the offer for a condo, it's very similar to purchasing a single family home. It is a different form, the condo offer to purchase, but the transaction and overall process is very similar.
Oh yeah, it's completely similar. Same thing with like loan options. Traditionally, it's the same way you get the same loan for a condo as you would to buy a home. So it's just a condominium offer to purchase versus a residential offer to purchase.
Yeah, exactly. So not too complex on that end of things. It's more or less just determining what your needs are, and then obviously which home is going to be a better fit for you and what you're looking for. So let's kind of bring it full circle here, Matt. If someone reached out to you and said, hey, I am considering a condo, what are just two nuggets of advice that you'd want to kind of leave them with?
I would ask you what are your biggest things you're looking for in a home. Flat out, will let you answer your own question there.
Yeah.
And see, do you have two St. Bernards? Then that's probably not the way to go. As a whole, if you don't like this somewhat restricted way of life, just based on living around so many other people, that may not be the way to go. But on the flip side is, if you're sick of, mowing your lawn, if you don't want to deal with more and more, things to fix, maybe if you're getting a little bit more elderly, a little less able, a condo might be perfect for you.
Yeah,
So.
I think you broke it down perfect. Just really shoot the question right back at what are you looking for? It could be a good option depending on what your needs are, and that's what we're here for. That's what Matt's here for. He sold a number of condos actually even just this past year. So if it's something you are considering, either single family or a condo, or just have questions about the process, we kind of breeze through things rather quickly. Reach out to Matt.
Let's have a convo.
He'd be more than happy to help you out. So,
all right, everyone. Well, thank you for joining us on The Real with the Solomon Group at Coldwell Banker, and make it an awesome day.